What's up, gamers? I'm back. Probably one of, if not the most common question I get from people in Unite is, what's the best character to climb solo queue? So what I wanted to do is I decided I'll take that question, make a tier list out of it, because the people love tier lists, and by the people, I mean me. It's me, I'm the people. Tier lists are cool, and I'm gonna rank them in what I think is the best for each role. So what we're gonna do is S tier is gonna be the best in each role. So the best attacker, support, speedster, and then from there, we'll just rank them in order of what I think is the best. Because ideally, if you're playing solo queue, you can play everything. So let's get into it. We're gonna start with support, okay? Look, man, we're gonna start with support first because why not? We're gonna throw support in S tier, okay? This is gonna be crazy. But like I said, S tier has just one Pokemon, one from each role. So for support, I'm gonna go with Eldegoss, okay? I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for that, for not saying Sableye. But I think Eldegoss is probably better in solo queue. One, because your macro doesn't have to be as good. And two, because it does good damage and has a lot of healing. So you can support and do damage. Like we've seen Eldegoss do 100,000 damage if you're good at it. Peppy, 100k McGee. Or consistently, you know, 60, 70k damage. So Eldegoss can do a lot of damage itself, which is good if your attackers are bad. And you can support your team by giving out heals. Now, the best tank. Nothing special here. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Mamoswine right now, probably the best solo queue tank. He does a lot of good damage, tons of stuns, lots of crowd control. He's kind of insane. You throw rapid fire scarf on him and you're just freezy McGee. Nobody can move. It's super annoying if you're an attacker to play against. So very cool. Mamoswine's pretty nuts as a defender. We're going to get right onto speedsters next. I'm going to throw up Dodrio right there because he kind of does his own game. And now I said I didn't want to put Sableye in S tier because he's kind of hard to play. Dodrio is also hard to play. You have to have good macro. You have to know when you can be scoring and when you need to be with your team. But he's faster and he can score more. So I'm going to put him in S tier. I think he's the best speedster. He's really insane. With the capability of dunking so fast at the end of the game, he's nuts. So those double points can come in huge. People may not be ready for you. Sometimes you just get a little bit of points to win the game. Dodrio's carry potential and score potential is insane. So he's obviously, in my opinion, the best speedster. Now, the best all-rounder. I'm going to go with Shifu, the new guy, new kid on the block. Shifu's secure is absurd. The dude is insane. It takes him a while to get to level 5, but the secure on, well, I'm talking Dark Shifu here specifically, okay? Not the water Shifu, because that thing is duty, bro. Dark Shifu's insane. His secure is freaking nuts. There's no way you're going to out-secure a Shifu who's halfway competent. So just for that, if you're at every objective, you have like an 80% of securing it, if you're not the only one there. As long as you're not trying to 1v5 an objective, his secure is insane. He's really, really hard to stop. I'd throw him in S tier. Definitely the best all-rounder. I hate playing against him. I don't play him myself. But with a lot of experience in the game itself, he's kind of insane, and I hate it. Now, we're talking experience myself, the best attacker. I'm sure this is going to catch everybody off guard. Nobody expects this one. It's definitely Cinderace. That's my fucking boy. I love Cinderace. Okay, first of all, he's super fun to play. Now I'm on my Church of Cinderace right now. Super fun to play. The character is like 80-85% positioning, 10-15% ability usage. So if you're in position well, you can do really well with Cinderace, especially now that Rapid Fire Scarf came out. He's actually insane. Cinderace is nuts. He's super mobile with Blaze Kick and then the dash afterwards. It's really hard to get caught as long as you have both cooldowns up. And his damage output is insane. And then he has some of the best secure in the game with his ult. Like I said, it's going to be tough to out-secure a Shifu with his just a cooldown move, which is tough. But if you get your ult off, it's really hard to stop a Cinderace secure. That's my boy. The single best character for climbing. I love it. Now, how the rest of the tiers are going to work, I'm just going to put them in the order of which I think they're good, right? So S tier has one of each role, and then the tiers below that are not necessarily going to be like that. So let's get into it. We're going to go A tier. We'll just go kind of in order. We'll throw Gengar in A tier for sure. Gengar's insane. The carry potential on this guy is nuts. Hex is still a good move even after the nerf. It does insane damage, and it's AoE, which is pretty schnasty. And Ball Eater, or Dream Ball, whatever you want to say, is also disgusting. Especially if the other team is squishy, you can just sweep right through them and delete them instantly. I'm going to throw Garchomp in D tier. I know we got a buff. Relax. Garchomp is duty, dog, okay? That and most of the players who play him, there's a little bit to be desired with their gameplay, I might say. So he's pretty low. We might bump him down. This is kind of a living tier list for now. The only one that's not changing here is S tier. So we're going to carry on. I'm going to throw Mew up in A tier. I think Mew's pretty insane. With Beam, it's still really good. The Surf crowd control is insane, and then his ult is schnasty. Oh, what if I made my entire team invisible real quick? That'd be fun. Because for some reason, invisibility is a big thing. Mew started it. Thanks, Mew. I'm freaking mad. That's duty, bro. We're gonna throw Venusaur in A tier. I saw him there, so why not? I don't know why we're sticking in A tier for so long, but Venusaur is freaking schnasty, bro. With the cooldown reset on Petal Dance and Giga Drain, and now Petal Dance actually does real damage with the most recent buff. He's insane. And then his Vine Whip, his boosted auto, the best boosted auto in the game. Sick. He gets it every like second and a half. Very cool. He can actually just 1v5 if you know what you're doing. You have to be careful. You have to play the fine line of not inting. Okay. You don't want to run in 1v5. But I'm not saying there's no chance, right? Like maybe don't try it, but maybe in a dire situation it might work. I didn't say try 1v5. But he can do it if you get any amount of help, which I guess is not a 1v5. But in my head, if it's me, it's a 1v5 every time anyways. So I'd throw him in A tier. He's pretty insane. Duck. All right, man. Duck can be played well. I'm looking at you, San and Waddle. Okay. I see you guys. I'm putting Duck in D. Oh, I'm torn between D. I think we D tier and we move Garchomp down because Garchomp's duty. I'm going to put Duck in D tier, okay? Very few people can play the Duck effectively. So if you just pick him up, the odds that you're going to be able to like make him work the way you need to in order to carry a game, very low. But if you have a lot of hours, Saiyan, Sir Waddle, you can be pretty oppressive on the Duck. But that's how it goes with any character, right? Now, next, I'm not even going to count this as Scizor, okay? Scizor is not real and he can't hurt you because otherwise I'd put him like B or C tier. But I'm going to go Scyther is A tier. Scyther almost makes S tier, but the thing is, he's an all-rounder, and I think Shifu's a little better. Scyther plays more like a speedster, so he's very hyper-offensive, a little bit squishy, can absolutely one-shot teams, but he's really hard to play. So I don't play him personally, but I'd say he's the best character in the game, and it's honestly not even close. Scyther's absolutely insane with his resets and his mobility, and his ult coming up every 2 seconds. Very fun. As a Cinderace player, I get ulted by Scyther every time I see him. It's a lot of fun. I hate it here. Please kill me. But like I said, most people play him wrong. He has a really, really high learning curve, so you have to get a lot of experience before you're able to carry with him. So that's just kind of how it be. I'll put him in A tier. Next, we have Ninetales. I'll throw Ninetales in B tier because Ninetales can be really, really easy to just play around. Like you dodge Avalanche or whatever they're going to do their first move, and they're just kind of dead usually. However, it doesn't take a whole lot to make Ninetales good. Turns out freezing people is good. So very cool. Ninetales, solid B tier. Glaceon, I'm going to throw, I think B tier. It might get moved up or down. I'll throw Glaceon B tier. Solid damage output. Pretty crazy. And we're going to speedrun the supports here, okay? We're going to speedrun this because these supports in solo queue. Remember, we're talking solo queue. Duty. Clefable, worst character in the game. Blissey, D tier because Blissey's always good to have. Even though you can't do a lot, you rely on your teammates more than like any other support. Wigglytuff, D tier, same thing. Very important, but what can you do in solo queue? Mr. Mime, we'll throw him C tier. He has good crowd control with his ult. Mr. Mime remains one of the best team fighting ults. The problem is now he doesn't do enough damage. So you have to have follow-up. Hoopla, F tier in solo queue. Sorry, Hoopla players. Kind of duty, bro. Kind of duty. Support players are getting absolutely dragged right now. Hoopla is buns right now. Sableye, I'll throw him in B tier. He's incredibly oppressive. Maybe I might even put him up in A tier, actually. We'll put him in A tier. Like I said, he's kind of tough to play, so he doesn't get S tier. I put Eldegoss up there instead. He's kind of hard to play, but he can absolutely shut down the enemy jungle. And if you're able to do that, it kind of puts your team in a massive advantage. So kind of woo. Stabilize pretty schnasty. I'll put him in A tier. Sure thing. You've earned it, buddy. Now, all-rounders are the same character with a different skin. Okay, let's be real here. Lucario, Machamp, same thing. I'm going to put Lucario, Machamp, Serena, Azumarill can go. I'll put Azumarill A. These three get B tier because they kind of do the same thing. They kind of all do the same thing, right? A lot of damage, some recovery on Serena. Not a lot special going on. I think they're always good. They're always good. Buzzwole's the most fun if this was a fun tier list, which stay tuned for next week. Most fun characters. I would put him in S tier. He's so fun to play. And he does a lot of damage, but I put him B tier. I think the best all-rounder here is going to be Shifu and then Azumarill. So that's how the tier list looks. Oh, we'll put Sword in A tier, actually. Sword, I think that's probably a pretty unpopular opinion. I don't know how many people would put Sword this high, but I think Sword's really, really good, dude. Sword's pretty schnasty. He has good secure with his ult. Ideally, you can just kill the team, and then you don't have to worry about secure with your ult. But this is solo queue, so that's unlikely. He has a really, really good secure, so when your team fumbles the fubbing bag, you can do it with your ult. And I'm gonna put Dragonite up in B tier. I think that's higher than most people would place him. TBH. I think most people would have him a little bit lower than that. But his secure is pretty schnasty. If you're running attack rate, you get those stacks and he's pretty insane. I would jungle it and then stack, but that's just me. That's just me. I think he's pretty nuts. Gardevoir, look, man, I know it got a buff. I'm putting this in C tier because I hate it, okay? most Gardevoir players are so duty, unless they're on the other team, in which case they get a 50% damage other team buff, which my team never gets. Unlucky. But I'll put him in C tier because it's a little misunderstood, I think. Like, sure, it can be good, but it's not, unfortunately. I'm going to put Crustle in E tier because Crustle's worthless. Maybe I even put him in F tier. Maybe the potential to score keeps him out of F tier. That keeps him out. We'll put Snorlax in C tier because we're talking solo queue. He has good crowd control, all that hoopla. Absol, I'm going to put in C tier because you need backup. Okay, you're too squishy. You can't do anything. Talonflame, C tier. I think this is a common theme here of these speedsters. I'm gonna put him right in the middle here. You don't want to pick a speedster most of the time, so I'm gonna put him in the C tier, especially if you have other attackers and speedsters on your team. You'd never want another one. And it's solo queue, so you always do. So probably you don't want to feed into that. You need to find a way to make the team work. I'm gonna put Zeraora in E tier for atrocious. I know that word starts with an A. Okay, fight me. He's terrible. He's horrible. Why does this character exist? The only time he's good is when you're 1v1ing a Cinderace and you wild charge him from a bush and one-shot him, in which case, congratulations, you're the better player. Button diff. He's kind of bad, though. He's kind of bad. He takes a lot to make work, and he's very squishy. So you hate to see that. And when you have no teamwork, it's a little rough. It's a little rough. I'm going to put Slowbro in B tier, honestly, only purely because of his ult, okay? Slowbro earns B tier purely because of his ult, all right? You can just take the enemy jungle out of the game at Rayquaza. Turns out that's pretty good. Garchomp, not Garchomp. Charizard goes E tier. I'm sorry, Gen 1 truthers, but he's duty, okay? He's so bad. No speed boost with his ult. That's a little bit rough, man. He kind of needed that. And also, you're usually stuck in a lane. Don't do this. Don't do this to me. I'm going to throw T-Tar in D tier. I know what I just said. You're usually stuck in a lane. However, this is the single best late game character in the game. Okay, 5 stacks, he's S tier. Solo queue, he's D tier. Okay, because you have no backup, usually. You probably have to lane, and you're a melee character, which means you're probably everybody just walks away from you. Your biggest weakness is people walking away. It's so tough. D tier, I'll throw in Blastoise in D tier as well. Pikachu, C tier, pretty mid. Pikachu's like aggressively mid. I'll put Frog A tier, good secure, good DPS, good whammage. And also same thing with Duraludon, ADC moment. You just kind of go crazy with him. You go pretty stupid. You just press the A button and Dragon Pulse every once in a while. Pretty insane secure, nutty damage, pretty shnasty. We got Tree McGee over here. I'll put him in D tier because most people who play Tree just kind of run at you and die, which is kind of a common tank theme. I know people say you don't get backup. You have to know when you can run in and die, when you can run in and not die, or when you're just gonna go feed, right? And I feel like a lot of players in solo queue, their whole team is back in their base because they just respawn, and then the tank runs in alone, and they sit there like, hey bro, why my team not follow me up? I don't know, they're in spawn, dog. Think about that one. If they were in spawn, that's on your team. Get off Twitter. That's on you, bro. Relax. Sorry, I got a little bit heated there over Tread. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. We're gonna put Greedent also in D tier. Tanks are garbage. That said, it depends on what your team has. If your team needs a tank, you play Mamoswine, okay? That's what I'm saying. So these other ones, kind of buns. Okay, Delphox. I'm about to get a lot of hate for this. I'm gonna get some hate, so bring it on. C tier. Oh, that's D. C tier. I put Delphox in C tier, man. Most people who play Delphox are straight duty. The character can be good. I'm looking at you, Scolded, you freaking Dingleberry 1v5 McGee, all right? Can be very, very good, but it's hard to make work. It's very hard to make work. And in solo queue, if the other 5 players were able to team up and kill you, your team loses. Congratulations, GG. So I put him in C tier. It's also, if you dodge 1 Mystical Fire, Delphox is dead. So rip, bozo. Let's see, Sylveon, Disco, this is gonna hurt you, I know, but D tier. Sylveon is freaking duty, bro. Actual duty. Most people play Hyper Voice, very easy to get around, especially if you're Cinderace, just Blaze Kick to the other side, and now you're behind, you give them the old reach around and they're dead. GG, your buns. I'm gonna put Espeon in D tier as well. Good secure, too squishy, decent enough stun, but too squishy, bro. Too squishy. I'm gonna put Dragapult in B tier. He just came out, that's my boy, I love playing it. I'll put him in B tier. I think I like playing him more than anybody else other than Cinderace. But he has no mobility and he has 4 HP. So if you don't get resets on your go ghost mode, I say no mobility. Dragon Dance gives you mobility, right? But we don't recognize Dragon Dance, okay? The council does not recognize Dragon Dance as a move. So I put him in B tier. Very squishy, but being invisibility is good. Being invisible is good, and his push A is really strong. The problem is his secure is not really there. His rip is insane, but if there's anybody else in like the target area, your dragon darts, your ult is not likely to hit the Rayquaza with both of them. So you're kind of in a bit of a pickle there. And I'm gonna put Decidueye in the same tier. I lied. Frick that. Decidueye goes D tier because he's actual duty. Okay, he's so easy to kill. Decidueye players are statistically the most likely to tilt, AFK, and surrender spam. Where did I get that source from? I made it up. So 100% based on my games, Decidueye is D tier for duty, bro. He has good secure, sure, but I feel like they get tilted super easily. So they just tend to do nothing and be under level the whole game, which is a little bit tough. So this is my solo queue tier list. Hope you enjoyed. Next week, we're going to do a most fun tier list, which I think will be pretty goofy, y'all. So I would smash sub. Be sure to check me out on Twitch. Let me know what you thought of my tier list. Go ahead and rip me a new one in the comments because I know everything was wrong. That's how the internet works. Whatever I say is wrong. And have a good day. Appreciate you for watching. Peace out.